Hello and welcome to On the Fly Television. I am your host, Dennis Gleason, and welcome to the show. What is On the Fly TV all about? It's about taking a little bit of time to get to know the people that you may be listening to on the radio, seeing on television, or maybe just people in the community that you maybe work with every day. Today I have a very special guest, and he is Bardia. Bardia, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me over.
And so I know who you are. I've worked on some of your stuff. I want you, if you wouldn't mind, take a look at the camera over there and tell the audience who you are and what kind of things you do.
Well, first, I would like to say hi, take the opportunity. I sing Persian, and I pursue my music through the Persian and Eastern European community.
Okay.
And I'm based out of Portland, Oregon here. As you said, it's just the music, so
okay.
What else would you like to know?
Sure, and that's quite all right. So you're a Persian singer, but as a few minutes ago we talked about, before we started rolling, we talked about the ultimate question that everyone's been asking that you don't like people to ask you. You actually sing other languages as well, not just Persians. So which is it? What other language is it?
It's Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's a question that he doesn't like to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because like everyone else does. Why Russian?
I just like the vibe of the music. It's just basically the Eastern European trance music. It's how the trance music I like to hear. That's exactly how I like to hear trance music. And the vibe that I get from listening to the Eastern European music, it's the vibe I like to hear from dance music.
Okay.
Basically.
So how long have you been doing music?
Well, I started playing keyboard and singing since I was a kid, and I was told by friends and families that I was gifted. Liars.
I don't think they're liars. I've heard you. I think you're talented.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I started singing since I was a kid, and I performed in many private events, clubs, and different places.
Sure.
Until I came to U.S. about 12 years ago, and it's when I started pursuing music a little further, and that's when I started actually working on my Persian record about 2002, and that was quite a challenge. It took me about a couple of years to finish the production of that CD. Another year on top of that, in line the record label to be released. That album was later released in 2005 by a reputable Persian record label out of Los Angeles, California.
Takes a while, doesn't it?
It does. The production is not easy, that's for sure. But right after that, very quickly after that, I started getting into the production of my second album, because the feedbacks and response that I was getting from my audience, it was actually keeping me going. So the second album actually took a little longer than I thought. It took about 3 years. And that second album was released by another reputable Persian record label out of Los Angeles, California, February this year.
Okay.
And meanwhile I was doing that, I kind of got into an Eastern European trance music. So that's when I started liking the vibe of that music. So as we speak, we're about halfway into the production, that album. I'm doing a Russian/Persian music, and we're about halfway into
So now, do you do all of the Russian parts, or do you have help with that?
It's actually going to be a duet album. Most of the album is going to be a duet album with another Russian vocalist, Ukrainian vocalist named Tati. And so far, the songs that we have recorded, it's been a duet song with her.
Okay.
And from now on, it's going to be probably 2 songs with just me.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Sure. Okay, so you've been doing it since you were a kid, and you've been in the United States for 12 years. So since you've been to the United States, what types of things are different for you pursuing your music career here versus abroad in like your natural country?
Well, when I got out of the country, when I got out of Iran, it was very tough. It was almost impossible to pursue the music the way I would like to there in that country, because of the system that I was in place. Well, in the past 3-4 years, things been different, because people there are a lot of talented artists out there right now that they're pushing their music out, putting on the internet, because the internet It wasn't like that. Well, at least not when I got out. When I got out, the music was very, very exclusive in Iran, and it was basically exclusively for the national TV channels and few artists only. So the artists that were been working before the revolution in Iran, they all got out and came to U.S. and Los Angeles, started working here. And that's basically why I came here and started pursuing the music career here. So I haven't actually experienced the production side of the music back in Iran.
Okay.
All I was doing back in Iran was like performing in private events, playing keyboards, singing, and doing clubs and stuff. I wasn't actually recording professionally back in Iran, so I wouldn't know exactly how the production is. But after that, I started working with some artists back in Iran, just basically on the phone, with the computer, transferring some files and stuff. They're doing great right now. It's kind of challenge here. It's a challenge because our market, the Persian music market, is kind of limited here.
In the United States in general?
In the United States, when I talk about Persian music market, I'm talking about the whole world. No, both my albums were released worldwide, so they're available in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, whole Europe, Middle East, Dubai, all over. But it's still limited. The Iranians outside of Iran are not more than 4 or 5 million people.
Okay.
So we're basically dealing with a very small audience, and our music hardly gets into our country, to Iran, because the copyright issues. We can't sell album there. We can't have concerts there because of a lot of reasons. So we're dealing with only 4 or 5 million audiences, that makes it really limited. And that's what we have to deal with. That's what makes it really challenging.
So you actually, though, perform concerts outside of Iran, though, outside the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the places that you've performed recently?
I've actually performed in London recently, and a few other places. I've performed in Amsterdam. Okay. I've performed in Los Angeles. I've performed in actually Chicago, Illinois, and I've performed quite a lot of places.
Okay. So now I understand that you do a lot of work in Los Angeles, and that happens to be one of the bigger segments for Iranian people. Is
that's right.
And the more popular for Iranian music then?
That is. Los Angeles holds about, this was a survey about 7 years ago, it was about 400,000, it holds about 400,000 Persians. Now I believe it's about 1.5 million Persians in Los Angeles, California, which is a lot of people. So yeah, there's a lot of TV stations out of there that gets broadcast.
How many TV stations are in there?
About 22 TV stations out of Los Angeles, California. Broadcasts goes over Hotbird and goes around the world. Yeah.
Just Persian.
Just Persian, just in Los Angeles. There are more Persian TV stations out of San Francisco, out of New York, out of Vancouver, BC, out of Dubai, out of United Kingdom, out of Manchester, like northern and southern United Kingdom. So there are different TV stations. Persians.
Well, I mean, you'd have to think of how many stations there would have to be in order to have 22 stations all dedicated to one type of music, or one type of, not type of music specifically, but to that type of, that language for Iranian or for Persian people in general. So.
That's right. So the Persian people are really active when it comes to music. They actually love their music, especially since we all got out of our country. So that's all they had to listen. At least for a while, it was very limited. They couldn't listen because it was no music coming out of Iran, our country, because of how the system was set up.